G'day folks, Dave from 42 Degrees South Boatworks here. Just going to introduce you to another boat as part of this series that we're doing. Now, a little story about the Firefly. Firefly came about after I had sold the Penguin, been through a couple of boats, one of them a Seafarer Vagabond, one of them a Streaker 585, and I loved them both, but I just missed the Penguin too much. And I had what you would probably describe as a bad marriage with the Seafarer. Brilliant boat, but just not for me. And I sold her and I bought this little Firefly. She's an 1850 Stavy Frontier, one of the last that I'm aware of. And I wouldn't say that she's had a hard life, but I would say that she has caught more fish than any other boat that I've owned, combined. She's been places you should never take a boat this size. If you know Tasmania and the Matt Syker group, then you know what I'm talking about. Now, I had to sell her as well. Some of you know about the passing of my son. Well, this was very much my son and my boat. And we went everywhere, did everything in it. And so for me, having got her back, having managed to get her back, it's not a case of fixing her. It's a case of I want to go through her. I want to do all the things that I can to make sure that she's as perfect as she can be. There's always a few things I wanted to do, but yeah, you run out of time. So I thought I'd give you a quick tour of this one as well. I hope this series is of good value to you. I really hope you would like, share and subscribe for what I'm doing, please. The bigger the community, the more information we can get out there, the better boating we're all going to have. So again, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll start showing you around. So it's probably always a good thing to start at the bum. The bum of the boat's quite important. And if you look at the bum of this one, for a little boat, she's pretty set up. Now, there's a couple of interesting things with here that I have no intention of changing. The trim tabs for one, and I remember when I fitted them, I copped all manner of shit for fitting trim tabs on an 18.5 foot open console boat, but what those enabled me to do was to be able to take her places that I couldn't do, that I wouldn't trust otherwise, because I could keep the bow down, slow plane, and she would just pull her way through it. I remember a number of occasions that she got me out of stupid things that I'd chosen to do. So I don't really have to do any refurbishment around that. They're pretty clean. They've stayed pretty good. The transducers are fine. Engine itself, a little Merc, internally is fine. I've already done her. She does need a little bit of clean up around the skeg. Yep, it happens to all of us. I've done that, same as everyone else. She needs new anodes, and little bits and pieces like that back here, but nothing that's really urgent. That bracket needs to be repaired. Everything else back here is pretty schmick. It's inside where I really want to, I guess, do a lot of the work, or the majority of the work. I've said in the written article, there's a lot of things I try to look at before actually approaching what I'm going to do. And walking around, I always do an outside inspection. For considering her hours, she'd be close to 700 hours now, and 4 years old. She got a little bit of oxidization, but the trailer's really neat and tidy, absolutely zero rust, no corrosion going on. The wheels are good, so they have come off. They've just had new bearings recently. So from the outside, I mean, the paint's not very pretty, but at the end of the day, if you read my articles, you know that I'm not a big fan of paint in the best place. She looks tough now. When it looks like shit, I will remove that paint and take her back to bare alloy. What I'm doing when I do these inspections as well is I'm looking for anything that's patent, anything that's untoward, or anything that I wouldn't expect to normally be there. Now by that I'm saying unusual corrosion on the outside, or a patent corrosion around the waterline. Things like, you know, bubbling paint where it shouldn't really be bubbling. So little details like that give you a good start and a good idea of what you do need to do if you're going to refurbish or, you know, polish up your boat. I certainly won't put anything on the outside of her to do any different. She's happily oxidizing, she's happily protecting herself, and that's the way I want her to be. As you can see, I've already started the wiring and pulling her apart. I will show you a couple of photos of just how much I pulled out of there. One of the great things with this boat in particular is she was set up right from the start. You know, she came from the dealer, she was well set up, trailer was great. I started with a great product, and because of that I've been able to continue it. Same corrosion protection as always. She's full of steel seal at the back and Lanox, and she doesn't have any corrosion, and for an open boat that spent probably 80% of her life tuna fishing, it's pretty good. So it shows you can do things simply without overdoing it, I guess. But from a refurbishment point of view, I'm definitely going through all of here. Now, I don't like mess, and I'm as responsible for that as anybody else. At the time I first had her, I had other obligations and other things that I was more focused on more, i.e. my son. So one other thing you can see from here too that I tend to do, I like to ID lines, not just with masking tape, but I've got colour coding for things that I've done that need to be done. So everything that's a yellow says to me that I need to come back, have a look at that, and try and sort out what I saw the first time while I was clearing it out. Good handy trick if you can. She's very obviously empty at the moment. Same thing. I've already started the process of pulling it out. I was never happy with what was in here, and I just always would run out of time to do something about it. So she's been basically gutted. She'll be completely cleaned out. 2 new batteries, new isolator, new VSR, basically new everything, because this stuff, again, it's not the fault of anyone. She was delivered nicely, but I want to make it to, I guess, the style or standard that I do. So a lot of work going to be in there. Not much cost. I mean, the cabling's expensive, but it's not that bad. But a lot of time and care. That's what you need to go there. Now, while we're here, you can say she does have some active corrosion. I'm not perfect. I've missed or not had time to get to that, to deal with that. You can see there. It's active, but it's not causing any danger. It's just one of those things that needs to be cleaned up, so that'll be a big part of the refurbishment. One of the things I'm a massive fan of is trying not to work around things. I want to work on things so it's easy to get to, easy to catch, easy to touch. So I have taken basically all the gear off her that she had, carefully stored away in a box. So I've got a clear run of what I need to do, because this entire console will be coming off. You can see here that she's certainly got some bubbles and bits and pieces going wrong around the anchor winch switch. So I'll be addressing that. In here, possibly the hardest wiring place I've ever done wiring on a boat, but that's part of the fun. There's 3 lithium batteries to go back in there, and basically everything from there is getting ripped out. I'm about halfway through it at the present time, but there will be not one original wire left. I've never been happy with it, and that's not the fault of anyone again. It's just my taste or my style of what I like to see in wiring, as you may have seen with the Penguin. The good thing is there's nothing in there that really rings alarm bells for me. It's nothing that I'm really worried about in terms of the integrity of the boat. There's more just the security of knowing exactly what I have. If I do take her out into those places that I used to do, then I have the security knowing that she's going to still be able to do it. Same as she did when she was new. So don't think a lot of this is because everything's wrong. It's a lot of pleasure for me. It's a lot of enjoyment to sit and work out a plan and to I know this probably sounds silly, but I can sit on here and I spend time with my son. You know, he's still here with me watching and wiring up his little black boat. So it's going to be good fun when we get to it. One thing I've never been a fan of since I sold her is the motor guide that's been put on. Now, it was put on pretty damn well. It's really well balanced. It's got a really solid bracket. In fact, it's so solid that I can't actually get it out half the time. But you can see around where they've painted, and that's the sort of thing I want to change. Now, will I repaint that with actual paint, or will I strip that back? I don't know yet. It's a decision to make. I don't have to worry about down in the anchor winch. That's all clean and tidy. That stayed really nice, actually. Don't have to worry about anything up there at all. As far as corrosion goes, she really doesn't have a huge amount, very little at all. My intent is to do exactly the same as I'm doing with the Penguin and the other boats, and I'll just go through and scrub her out and make sure that she has the right treatment. Once I've done that, there's no worries anymore. I've taken out some lights that were fitted. I wasn't very happy with the wiring on that, but that's all right. Can replace that sort of stuff. And that's really the job on her. Now, I've never really been a fan of this console. It's the front part's fine. That was Dave's seat. He'd always stand up, looking back at me, getting whacked in the head with his life jacket. But I've never been happy with the way the console sits and the way it's sort of, it's hard to explain. It just makes everything difficult to get to. Now that's just for me. Also because I have limited mobility now. I'm not saying it's a bad design. One of the things I will be doing is a couple of add-ons to it, a little bit of fabrication that will be added in to make it a lot easier for me and a lot easier for anyone that drives it to be able to actually just get to things quickly. So that'd be good fun. She won't look much different, but internally she'll be a lot different. One of the really important things with a project like this is something that I may or may not be guilty of is it doesn't look like a huge amount, but it's actually a heap of work. So if you're going to do this, commit to it. It's not a heap of money, it's a heap of time and a heap of concentration. Now, I'm as guilty as sin sometimes of underestimating how long something's going to take, particularly as my body gets slower, my mind gets slower because of Parkinson's, but the beautiful thing is it doesn't matter. If I don't have her on the water for a few months, that's cool, because I know at the end of it I'm going to have a boat that is absolutely sound, absolutely sorted. She's going to be as beautiful as she was the day I bought her. And that's what this is all about. Now, both the boats I've introduced so far, they don't have anything specifically wrong. Penguin's got some welding to do. This boat, pretty much nothing. I mean, the only real damage on it is just repairing the skeg of the engine, and that's not a big process. So this one would be a good example of having a boat that's ready to go, but you're choosing to do it because you want it to be more suited to what you need. And that's things I've wanted to do since I bought her and didn't have the time, and now I've got her back, I can do that. So this will be the second one we'll be focusing on, and it'll be an interesting one here because the way the wiring will have to be done here will be very different to the other three boats that I'll be focusing on. So we'll have some fun with that. Once again, thank you so much for watching this page, for reading my articles. If you jump over onto my Facebook page, 42 Degrees South Boatworks, you'll be able to read a lot of the articles around this too. I mean, I can't promise there won't be the occasional expletive. I'll probably start swearing like crazy at some point on this boat, but that's all part of the fun. I really hope you enjoy. I really hope that you get some value from this. I would really appreciate it if you could like, share and subscribe, and let's make this an awesome project.